pans back to the reporter, and it's like this beautiful, like brilliant woman asking all these really good questions. I'm like, oh my God, she's amazing. So I click in, I watch the video, think nothing of it. Next day I come back, the same ad is kind of fed to me. And this happens multiple times in a row. I'm like,
It's because you clicked it.
Well, yeah. My mind's thinking, oh my God, God wants me to meet this girl. So her name pops up obviously in the lower third, like Melody Ham. I Google her, I find her on Twitter, find out like she's Korean American, I'm Korean American. I'm like, oh, this is fate. You know, she loves like R&B, she's blah, blah, blah. Turns out she's in New York, but I decide I want to tweet her. And I just said, hey, big fan of your work. This is like a public tweet. And I like linked one of the articles. Hey, this is a great article. She was, oh, thank you. We just become friends on Twitter. That was the extent of it. And because I lived in New York, I would go back every once in a while, actually for a wedding. And when I was there, I asked her to grab coffee. And she was like, oh, okay, sure. It ended up being that we ended up grabbing drinks. And that night we essentially spent the whole night walking around New York City. First bar we closed at like 3 a.m. Next bar closed at 5 a.m.
It's crazy. Bars close at 5. Did you
Was it
not
just
have
like a
anything to do the
Saturday?
next
Yeah,
day?
man.
It was a weekend. It was a holiday weekend.
Okay, yeah.
The thing I did have to do
convenient.
was catch my flight in the morning at like 8 a.m. So I remember like the sun was coming up. I was like, oh shit.
Worth it, man.
I haven't packed. Yeah. So I was like, this is it. She's the one. I had never spent a day like that or a first date like that with anyone. So we were texting and she was like super cool and she didn't seem like super interested per se. So I was like, okay, this is the ball's in my court if I want to make something happen. So I was in Toronto for a project and I told her, oh, I have to be in New York for a week. Let's like hang out. She goes, okay, sure. So I booked a one-way flight to New York. And I was on my buddy's couch and said, hey, I'm going to stay here for about a week or two. Do you mind?
Oh my God.
What about work?
Well, this was
how long
during
ago
the
was
time.
this?
This was 2015 probably.
Oh, okay.
So this was right around after the guys had left. I was like, no vision for Jubilee Project. I didn't start Jubilee Media yet.
Got it. Okay.
As soon as I get to New York, I'm texting her, hey, do you want to meet up for coffee? No response. I kid you not, 3 days of no response. I'm like walking around New York. I'm like, I'm the stupidest guy ever. Like I'm starting to like look up flights. Finally, she's like, hey, sorry, things have been so busy. We ended up, she's like, I can meet you one day for coffee. We meet up for coffee. That went really well. At that date, I was like, hey, I've got tickets for a Broadway show tomorrow. Do you want to come? She goes, I'll have to move things around, but okay. Run to the Broadway like ticketing office, bought tickets.
Smooth.
And then at the end of the week, I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said no. But a couple of weeks later, she said, yeah.